when you start taking actions and responses, there are some basic principles of judgment. You need to consider four things here. One is who the attacker is, and then what attack actions they are taking. Then who is the responder or defender that will be affected. It seems like each industry has one. For example, Intel said it wants to acquire global foundry or global foundries. Is this intentional or just a rumor? So Intel wants to acquire global foundry. What is the purpose? Is the purpose to expand the capacity for legacy processes like above 7 nanometers or 14 nanometers? Or does he want to jointly develop advanced process with global foundry? But everyone says it's impossible because tying two dogs together won't make a wolf. Intel also doesn't have commercialization below 7 nanometers. Well, it's not that they don't have it, it's just still delayed, and Global Foundry doesn't have it either. So tying these two dogs together won't turn them into a wolf. So maybe it's not for this new process, the advanced process. Then is it for the legacy process? What does he want to do with the legacy process? So some people say that maybe this information is Global Foundry deliberately trying to entice Intel to acquire them. But yesterday's news was that Global Foundry said they want to go public themselves. They want to do their own IPO. What does this mean? Is it deliberately to get others to bid and then increase their own value? So in the industry, in market competition, there is a lot of deception when we see the news, especially since we are often late to realize. What we usually see are messages deliberately released by others. Well, of course, when we look at Intel and Global Foundry, it is related to us. It's very distant. We won't feel it. But if you look at your competitors or if you look at your suppliers and they tell you, hey, our capacity is fully booked now. If you want it, you need to place an order first. Then you might need to like place an advance order of 300,000 and I can reserve it for you or something like that. When he says these things, when he proposes this, it's an action and there must be a purpose behind it. Why does he deliberately tell you instead of you finding out yourself? For example, when you place an order several times, when he delays delivery, you should know that it's because his capacity is full. But why does he take the initiative to tell you? There must be a purpose because he wants you to know, he wants you to notice, and he deliberately picks something to say, hey, if you don't place an order with me now, I won't be able to prepare the materials for you later. Then he tells you, why not place an order for 300,000 units first, and then I will do this and that. So the action he wants to take is to deliberately get your attention, and this is something important to you. Also, he doesn't make an outrageous demand. He just says, why not place orders for the next 3 or 6 months in advance, pay 50% upfront, and secure my production capacity, or something like that. So it's not just between competitors that there is a series of actions and responses, but also between you and your customers, and between you and your suppliers. The reason he takes this action is definitely because he intentionally wants you to notice, I have the motivation and the ability to respond. Or if you are a defender, you have already noticed the opponent's action, you notice, then you need to decide whether to respond. In the next stage, the response will become whether the other party will take the bait. Then, one more thing you need to consider about this action and the response is, the situation is that it's not just between the two of you. Sometimes it's like deliberately scolding your own child for other parents to see, intentionally disciplining your child for others to watch. This is called Xiang Zhuang performs the sword dance intended for Pei Gong. He's actually not trying to compete with you, so sometimes he will deliberately make a feint in the east, attack the west. So this action and response, a series of actions and responses, are not just between this company A and company B. When manufacturer A takes an action, its competitors B, C, D, E, and F will see it, or some will see it and some won't. Some have the motivation to respond, some don't. Some have the ability to respond, some don't. And those who want to respond, some respond quickly, some respond very slowly, some with small responses, some with significant counterattacks, some use strategic responses, and some use tactical responses, but all of these have their own This interaction, these things combined gradually accumulate to form your relative position in the industry compared to other competitors. Because when we talk about competitive advantage, it means performing better than the industry average. And how you perform better than the industry average is through this series of competitive interactions eventually leads to science. So at the top, it means that the performance of each company is not simply because you set a certain product mix targeted a specific market, and then your supply chain can produce it, and naturally there will be traffic and people will come to buy. So like what we just talked about is still within the physical sales site. If you move it online, it's the same, just like me. When I upload a video to YouTube, I have to think about when to post it and what kind of text to include. Then I should decide what kind of promotions to do on my other social media, on my Facebook or Line, and how to push and promote them. Only then can it catch others' attention and motivate them to click on it. And the click should be very simple. Like that day, I tried the Family Mart Easy Store setup because it claimed to open a store in 3 minutes. So I really tried it, and it indeed opened in 3 minutes. So what does it mean to open in 3 minutes? It lowers the threshold of your ability, so you are aware. But do you have the motivation? When your motivation isn't that high, but your ability is within reach, then you will do it. It's like when you go to a department store, you originally just wanted to buy. For example, you wanted to buy just a thermos, and then the person next to you starts promoting, saying, this kitchen knife is so good. You originally had no motivation to buy, but since they are already selling it to you, you are aware, but you have no motivation. But he lowers your ability, saying, no problem, I'll give you this one first. If you find it useful, then come back and buy the whole set. Then you might say, oh, okay, I'll take it home. Or he might say, you just need to add $100 and I'll give you a kitchen knife. This lowers the threshold of your ability. There are many such examples both in physical stores and online. For example, I know my graduate student is working on a crowdfunding platform. In the crowdfunding platform, there is a reward-based setting, which specifies that if you contribute $100, you can receive something like a thank you. If you contribute $500, you can get a postcard. If you sponsor me 1,000 yuan, you can get a sample. If you sponsor me 2,000 yuan, you can do something else. Why design so many tiers? Because he wants people with different abilities to be able to respond. Okay, so I think awareness, motivation, and ability, then you first estimate what the other person's response will be, and then you plan your actions. This series of things, whether in the actual battlefield of business or in your daily life, whether facing your customers, competitors, or suppliers, this is very useful. This is actually where our strategy is most useful. In other disciplines, they don't teach this kind of thing because everyone seems to have ignored this series of actions and responses. You might feel like as if I just do this action, work, hey, I just need to post my video, and naturally I will receive a lot of responses. Actually, that's not the case. You need to consider that there is also a series of design and maintain this interaction process carefully. 这个互动的过程。